In Memphis, Tennessee, there's over 100 different gangs with over 13,000 different gang members in the city. Gangs in the Memphis area are concentrated in high crime black neighborhoods, which we'll be going over that in this video. First, we'll be talking about the Binghampton area. This neighborhood is at the convergence of Midtown and North Memphis, which is bordered by the CSX Railroad in North Holmes Street on the east. And one crazy situation that happened in this area was on March 3rd, 2008. A number of bodies were discovered at a residence at 722 Leicester Street. This was all after police responded to a call of a woman concerned about her sister and her father. Memphis police discovered 6 individuals murdered inside the home. 4 adults and 2 children. 3 other children were also found seriously injured too. Autopsies determined that the adult victims had been shot multiple times with a semi-automatic weapon, and the children had been stabbed multiple times and received blunt trauma to the head.
They'd all been at Cecil's house that Saturday to watch a basketball game. He told jurors he remembers Jesse Jr. had a gun because Cecil moved it.
Came from behind me and reached over on the counter and said, "Let me move that gun because it's blue and my kids might think it's a toy."
Upon further investigation, Jesse Dadson, who was related to 3 of the victims, was found to be the murderer. Jesse confessed that he had gotten into an argument with his younger brother and he shot him to death. Now going to a place named Raleigh in Memphis, which is a pretty large hood in North Memphis, originally built as somewhat of a suburb of Memphis before becoming part of the city during the 1970s, which can be called an extension of the Bay Area, with gangs like Fam Mob, Ghost Mob, Fast Cash, Taliban, Raleigh Mob, FMG, Trap Squad, and many more. Now let's go to the Douglas area, which is one of North Memphis's most reputable area, once home to Douglas Mob. This is one of the city's oldest hood, and this area has been an all-black area since the 1800s, and originally built for only black families. Then going to one of the most notorious areas in Memphis, which they call the Bay Area. North of North Memphis is the city's largest hood, home to a number of apartment complexes and neighborhoods, and made by famous rappers like Frayser, Lil White, Yo Gotti, and Glorilla. This area was built throughout the 1940s and the 60s and became an all-black area during the 1980s and the 1990s. And then there's Hickory Hood, East Memphis, Hickory Hill, officially Southeast Memphis, aka East Memphis. This area was built in the 1950s and 1960s for white families, but began to change by the 1980s and 90s, as originally for a place of middle class and professional black families. But now this section of the East Memphis has become more hood. There's also a presence of Hispanics and Latin counts being in this section of this area. Then going over to the north side of Memphis, which is 7th Street, and it's a large North Memphis section that was home to various small apartment complexes sitting along 7th Street. This area was also home to Murder Squad during the 2010s, but this area is likely to be gentrified pretty soon. But what is also in the North Memphis area is an area called Hyde Park / Hollywood. This North Memphis neighborhood has been made famous by Project Pat, who grew up in the Crypress Garden apartments on Springdale. The Hyde Park area is off Chelsea Avenue and is one of the original all-black hoods, as black families have been in this area since the start of the 1900s, while Hollywood Street was an all-white area until the 1950s or 60s. Now let's go to the Klondike area, which is a well-known Memphis hood known for this section of Speed and Henry. Plus, the Montgomery Street Black Peace Stones are located in this area. Then there's Hurt Village, located in North Memphis, a former housing project that was built in the 1950s. Originally only built for white families, but now Hurt Village complex has been demolished and rebuilt with single-family homes. In the area, rebranded as Uptown. Now let's go to an area named Green Lawn, which is also in the North Memphis area, and this has been around for years and once known for the Green Law Money Mob, and much of the area has been somewhat rebuilt and gentrified. This is one of the city's first neighborhoods, as well as one of the first areas for blacks, who was originally lived alongside whites, and this area was also for professional and middle class black families during the 1900s. And then there's Foot Homes, which is located on the south side of Memphis, and this area was recently demolished. Foot Homes housing project was built in 1940 and set on 46 acres near downtown Memphis. Foot Homes is a legendary landmark named after a black federal officer, which was William H. Foote. Foote was killed in Wazoo City, Mississippi by a lynch mob who stormed the jail that Foote was awaiting trial in after he shot 3 white men who was planning a lynch and beat a black man named John James. Then there's Lamar Terrence, built in the 1940s as one of the city's first housing projects with over 400 units, and demolished in the mid-2000s and rebuilt to the University Place apartments. And then there's Dixie Homes. The original neighborhoods of North Memphis were replaced by the old housing projects like Hurt Village and Dixie Homes, along with is now Mill Avenue and Poplar Avenue. Dixie Homes became a very reputable area, even in recent years being labeled the home of the Dixie Homes Murder Squad gang. This next area has a lot of different active gangs in this area, and it's called the Nutty. On the north side of Memphis, Nutbush is one of Memphis's few Mexican and Hispanic neighborhoods, and it's just as street active as anywhere else in the city. Gangs like PBS, BG13, and 700SG Great, HSG Great, EBK, and many more. Then going to the south side of Memphis, there's a place called South Parkway, once called Funky Town. This area has been home to rappers like Black Youngster, Player Fly, and Lord Infamous. Then there's Orange Mound, located in southeast Memphis. This was home to the legendary rap group 8 Ball, somewhat of its own separate community from South Memphis, a city within a city. Orange Mound has been established as an all-black neighborhood for generations, and at one time was the biggest black communities in the country. Then this next one is an East Memphis hood. This one is named Parkway Village, which is officially Southeast Memphis, aka East Memphis. This is the area that NLE Chopper's from. This area was built in the 1950s and 60s for white families, but also began to change in the 1960s and 1990s. Then there's Walker Homes, and this place is home to Moneybag Yo, an affiliation of Young Mob Military. This South Memphis neighborhood was built as one of the first all-black subdivisions during the 1950s. Then going to the Doubletree area, a subdivision or sub-hood of the Westwood area, probably one of the most reputable and notorious areas in Westwood. Then there's Westwood, a large neighborhood of southwest Memphis that has been infamously known for the Treetop Pyru affiliation. The last area we'll be talking about here is BHZ, Black Heaven Zone, which is a large section that is an extension of South Memphis, home to rappers like DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia and Duke Deuce. This was originally called Whitehaven, but changed around the 80s and 90s and became known locally as Black Haven after a lot of black people moved in the area. But that'll be about it for this video. Make sure you like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what y'all want to see next. And as always, stay blessed and stay well. Yeah, I'm out.